I got diagnosed in my early 20s. It started from the point of me being in this battered, domestic violence situation, being battered, seeking out help, getting a diagnosis, and I really got to say my journey started then. I started having trauma in my life at a very young age. I was 7 years old, and my parents had, separated for a period of time, and my mom took me in to help my dad. She took myself and my younger brother to live with her, and the first night I got into that home, I was sexually molested by my three god brothers, and that continued for a couple of years. By the time I hit 16, I had attempted suicide twice already, and my last experience, I almost died. Many of us are still walking around with pain. Many of us are having to deal with the stigma and the abuse and, the violence. We're on this pathway. I'm still healing today, but through my healing, I can help another person. I was under the impression that because I'm an immigrant here, my children would have been taken away from me because they're citizens, and I thought I was going to be deported back to Trinidad. Fear drove me to find community, and I'm here today because that community is what embraced me. I'm standing on shoulders of gay white men who I knew helped me. I knew who took the time to pull me to the side and say, okay, this is what this word that you're hearing them use, this is what this jargon really means. Me finding community was the platform that gave me the voice, that helped me to understand you have a voice, you have a right, you're not lesser than. Myself and a group of women, and it was a bunch of women from across the country, but we were really all mobilizing here in New York, and we got together. A lot of the women too, they were not living with the virus, but they were some strong activist women, who really, had some insight and some information, and they sat there with a couple of, the gay guys, I would say, and, they would educate us and inform us. We would see in the data of how many women were coming through. This never from the beginning was a gay white man's disease, but it's what was reported. We now had to be counted. So in order for us to be counted, we now had to be infiltrated within the movement. There was a movement that was happening, and we had to be there. When I was asked to go and testify before the Food and Drug Administration, I never imagined that I had such of a value. We put together some information that the FDA was not even aware that this was happening to us women. So we won our case. We won our battle. We were now being part of those development committees, where we were sitting there with researchers. We were sitting there with, decision-making individuals within the AIDS clinical trials group. I was a voice that was not at a table before. Black women diagnosed with HIV and AIDS are women of color. It was very rare that I saw undocumented immigrant women coming together in the movement and mobilizing. So I would get called upon, because we needed to have that voice at a decision-making table. I contracted HIV here in the United States, and this is what I say to people. Why not be part of this movement? Why not be part of this, building of, new family? I identified new family. The work continues because we are in some trying times right now again, for immigrants, and this voice here, it is going to make a difference too. I know more today, and yes, I do have a legal status now, but I would always be an immigrant until I die. That's me.